Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money-colored commentator. On today's show, Lifetime Retirement Income, part 5 in our series on retiring in the near future. Our goal, remember, we're already receiving Social Security as our retirement income that's guaranteed for life. I mean, as long as we're alive and as long as our spouse is alive, we're going to get something from Social Security. And even if you become the Guinness Book of World Records, like Gene Clement at 122 years, 164 days, you're going to get it. So I want to start thinking about other ways because I have essential bills to pay in retirement. I also have discretionary bills in retirement, like, hey, I want to go on trips. I want to go see my grandchildren. I want to incorporate that into my budget. Social Security is going to be able to pick up some of those obligations. I need something else that's guaranteed to pick it up as well. Remember, I don't really have guaranteed dividends in a stock portfolio. I don't have guaranteed coupons unless I'm willing to hold the bond forever. I have to find out, is my stock dividend and my bond income, is that generating enough to give me extra money guaranteed? And if you don't, and the word is it isn't guaranteed, which I agree most of the time it isn't, you're going to have to look at other options. Now, when I'm in retirement, when I'm talking about essential spending and discretionary spending, I don't want to be in using anything in variable income. So somebody says, well, Steve, what is your dividend? How did your dividends pay? Well, it was really good this quarter. But last quarter, it wasn't as good. And if I'm depending on that dividend income to pay essential bills and discretionary spending, I shouldn't be in that because I'm going to be caught from time to time with a market correction or a bear market or worse point, a black swan event, which could be even worse. So I'm looking at fixed income. I've talked about using annuities in this scenario. I like it. I'm doing it myself. My guaranteed income, my guaranteed expenses for discretionary as well as my essential spending in retirement is taken care of by Social Security income and a fixed annuity for life jointly held by my wife and I. We are annuitants. So that money's going to come in, hell or high water, that's guaranteed for life. Now, just a heads up, when you're looking at annuity companies and you want to feel secure because it is not FDIC, you want to look at the ratings of the carrier or the company, and you also want to look at their balance sheet issues. And if you don't know how to look at it and it's qualified, look at your CPA, look to your accountant, look to your enrolled agents of the IRS to look at the insurance company. Most of this is public domain information. You can get all this and make your quality choice. So I want to be able to match up fixed income on annuities with my fixed income Social Security to take care of my essential and discretionary spending. Y'all are going to have a choice here. As I've talked a couple segments back, you can get a single premium immediate annuity or a deferred income annuity. You can go out to Canex.com or immediateannuity.com and look at both of these lists that they have of many carriers so that you can see, and believe you me, the difference. I'm in shock. The first 10 to 20 carriers are going to be all over the board. So you can't depend on one person coming with their own personal carrier that they work for. You need to look at everything out there. And remember, you can see not only once you come to the decision, hey, that's the income I want to use in the carrier, but you can also check the carrier ratings and the carrier's financial stability and claims paying ability so you feel comfortable with going ahead and doing that. So once I make that decision, I'm going to go and say, there's my income set for my discretionary and essential. Now, some people are actually going to live, that's going to be me, a hybrid retirement where I'm still retired, but I'm still working. Some people will become entrepreneurs. Maybe they can change their hobby into a revenue generating company. I think I'll be still speaking a little, still doing some video, so much and so forth. But am I retired? I'm doing a hybrid retirement. I'm feeling good. I have good health. I'm going to continue working past 70. So I'm starting to look at, hey, how will that look? I already taken care of my guaranteed income. I have money in the market for my inflation hedge. I've already taken on my ability to get rid of my mortgage payment through HECM. I've done all the tactical and issues to set myself up for a good retirement. So I'm going to keep working a little bit here until I just feel like I just don't want to do that anymore or health may stop me. So I'm looking at, I'm retired, but I'm still working. Now, one of the insurances that you'll want to be thinking about when you're retired, and this is my feeling is, if you're going to buy insurance, the first thing you should look at, if you can actually qualify for it, is long-term care. I have a policy. My wife has a policy. I bought a policy that was heavily slanted towards assisted home living. I don't know about you. I really don't want to go into a nursing home. As I've said before, I bought my final home with wide hallways, no steps, one level. That's the name of the game for me, at least. I want to cut down on the possibilities of morbidity events, i.e. accidents in my home, and try to push my health out as long as I possibly can. So I'm looking to come to the insurance. Of course, we're doing Medicare right away. And again, some states, check this out. Some states, you could actually get through a healthcare plan, a gap insurance that you would be obligated for right now I think it's $4,900 a year for you and $4,900 for your wife if you had to use it. But if you don't use it, you pay no premium. So the only premium you're paying for your health would be your $134 monthly check from Medicare. To me, that is a huge opportunity to think about. Now remember, if you're not a healthy person, you shouldn't do that. That number is going to be bigger than that. You should probably buy a plan where it has a very, very low deductible and you have a guaranteed premium payment that you're paying at least for a year. So, but if you're really healthy, you may want to look at that. And remember, Medicare doesn't cover eyes. It doesn't cover any of our dental. And that's one of the biggest issues that I see people, if you're going to have health, and you're going to spend your HSA account money, health savings account, spending it on dental and eyes, to me, is the way to go. Now, long-term care. Long-term care, if you can't get a contract, you may want to look at a hybrid product that has life insurance and long-term care rider, or an annuity with a long-term care rider. You need to look at these ideas just to make sure you have some kind of elder care coverage. Having it through I'd rather have you have a standalone contract, but not everybody can qualify for it. So I want to look at those issues. I want to look at long-term care. My Medicare is going to be my health plan. Now, some people use home equity conversion mortgage through HUD and insured by the FHA. This is only for seniors. You may say, I love this idea, Steve, but what happens if there's no equity in my home when I die and my kids won't get any money out of it? Then you may want to look at, if you're healthy enough, second to die life insurance if you're a married couple. You can buy huge amounts of coverage to give to your children and grandchildren with pennies on the dollar. So I don't want to leave my real estate, my home, especially if I'm using HECM. I may not have equity positions in my 90th year. There may be no equity at all. So I'd rather go someplace else. And even if there was, I would still buy second to die if it's good, if the numbers are good and I'm decently healthy, because the leverage and the economic tax issues are way better than giving my kids the actual real estate and knowing that if I lived too long, I probably wouldn't have any equity position in it. So when I'm looking at basic insurance, I'm looking at second to die for legacy planning, giving to the kids or the grandkids. I'm looking at Medicare, and depending upon what state, you may not have to buy a gap insurance, but heads up, you may be on the hook for the first $4,900 in any scenario. At least this year, that's the number for me. And then on top of that, long-term care. If I can't get a long-term care contract, can I get a hybrid contract, combination of life and long-term care, or annuity and combination of long-term care to subsidize times where I'm going to need some kind of hospitalization? Remember, right now, 70% of American seniors are using some form of health care. There are 6 ADLs, activities of daily living. Once you qualify for just 2 out of the 6, it engages most contracts. So if you couldn't get up in the morning, or you couldn't feed yourself, or you couldn't really do your toileting by yourself, what a thought, you could actually do that. You could actually have your contract will come online and you're going to get the assisted home living. Most Americans want assisted home living before they finally have to go to a nursing home. That's the goal and that's the game. And remember, you could start getting your children trained, maybe become a visiting angel, your grandchildren, so they'd have a little bit of income and you could actually have them in your home to support people that are your family. Your bloodline is there. So there's all kinds of ways to play this. There's alternative approaches to a lot of what's going on. And think about it, we are going to be living a lot longer. So maybe not the early 80s is when we're going to be looking at long-term care like we are today. But when I get out there, it may be now into our late 80s, early 90s, when we really start needing a little assistance, little help. You know, the gravity of the earth has been pulling down on us. It's time to really think about it. You need to walk into retirement, if you can, somewhat healthy. And you need to do what it takes. Think about this, and I'll end it with this. Right now, under Medicare, you can get silver sneakers. You can join a gym that promotes that program, and that costs you nothing as a senior, depending upon what gap insurance. Mine covers it. I just can go in there anytime I want. It's 24/7, and the silver sneaker program's online. It costs me nothing. A little bit of working out will pay dividends way into my late 80s, early 90s. That's the goal. So when you're talking about insurance in retirement, it's there to ensure your lifestyle. It's there to keep the living standard that you want online during your entire retirement. I want to thank you for watching our series on retiring in the near future. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.